Hello everyone. Welcome to the second part of Pretend to Hit Them challenge. After a short break, because I couldn't think of how to continue some of the storylines. But it's good now, we are here, let's get into it. As always, special thanks to my lovely patrons and all of you who still watch my videos. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up with the uploads, and let's get into it, shall we? Kindaichi found himself physically shaking the whole way home from his last checkup, the idea of doing the challenge making him sick to his stomach. As if he hadn't hurt Kunimi enough already. With his luck, he could almost bet he wouldn't guess the distance or his strength correctly and left Kunimi with a bloody nose or worse, which was something he definitely refused to risk, no matter how useful Iwaizumi thought it would be. Why do we even stay in chats with the two of them? Everything they come up with is a disaster in disguise. He shook his head and opened the door to their house, glad he was finally out of the scorching sun and humid air. Praised be the AC. You? Surprised, Kindaichi turned after the voice, melting inwardly over the bird's nest on Kunimi's head, suggesting he just woke up from a nap. However, there was relief clearly written in his eyes too, the sight urging Kindaichi to open his arms in a silent invitation for a hug. Yep, just me. Come here. Not hesitating for a single second, Kunimi rushed down the stairs and carefully wrapped himself around Kindaichi, hiding his face in his shoulder. I thought you were working. I'm already done. Most of my clients are on vacation right now, so we don't have that much work. I see. That's good. We can do something together if you want. He gently patted Kunimi's hair, the sinking feeling in his stomach returning in full force when he imagined using the same hand to fake a hit. Apparently, he didn't manage to conceal his thoughts completely, as Kunimi raised his gaze to him, a confused crease appearing between his eyebrows. Something wrong? We don't have to do anything if you don't want to. You don't have to force yourself just because we are home together. A sliver of uncertainty snuck into his voice, but for Kindaichi it was the same as if he started crying or backed away. He carefully removed a strand of hair from Kunimi's eye, making a space to leave a kiss on his forehead while he gently pinched his cheek. It's not about that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to worry you. I want to be together. Today, tomorrow, any day we have time. I was just thinking about something, that's all. Is it about the adoption? No, not this time. He nuzzled their noses together, glad when he felt Kunimi relax again in his arms. No way he was doing the challenge. Even thinking about it made Kunimi worry. What good would doing it do? None. They had more important things to worry about, like snuggles and repairing the trust between them. And the potential adoption. But speaking of, have you thought about it? Kunimi sighed, his hands clenching on the fabric of Kindaichi's t-shirt. Yeah. I want to, I really do, but I don't know if I can keep up. Okay. I don't know how to take care of a baby. I don't know how it's supposed to look like in the family when the kid is growing up. You can turn to your childhood for inspiration, but I also know how nasty the foster system can be. I don't want him to go through that after he already had a tough start. He was trembling now, and Kindaichi instinctively pulled him closer to his chest. However, the words kept resonating through his head, slowly but surely creating a picture of something he had no idea about till today. You are a foster kid? The short nod he got in answer was enough to turn everything he knew upside down. You never said anything. How did I not notice? I don't like talking about it. But I met your parents. They seem lovely. They are, and I'm super grateful they chose me. But they are also the last ones in a long line. He looked up, his eyes definitely more glossy than a moment ago. I don't want Hiroto to go through it too. With his heart shattered by the new revelation, Kindaichi hugged him tighter, ignoring the starting ache in his leg. After all, it was nothing compared to the pain in his beloved's voice, and think at just how much he had to go through before getting lucky. I'm sorry. Don't. It's gone. Can we go over everything again? About the adoption, I mean. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Still having the nightmare before their proposal in front of his eyes, Washio despised the challenge with every fiber of his being. Sure, they were on much steadier ground these days, despite the sadness still sometimes present in Konoha's eyes, but the core of things didn't improve that much since last time. The ring on Konoha's finger helped, but deep down, Washio could still see his fear and helplessness, no matter how much Konoha tried to hide it. His fiancée was still insecure, and it was no one's fault but his own. It's not going to go well, now especially. Just like Konoha couldn't hide his fear, Washio also couldn't hide that he was troubled, which made things worse. He would love to tell Konoha what was happening, but if he was completely honest, he had no idea what was actually going on. Everything was just weird. And if he gets hurt, it's going to be even worse. He sighed heavily and slumped on the couch with his head in his palms, wondering what went wrong. They used to be so close and happy after high school, so what changed? Or maybe it was just his wishful thinking. Maybe Konoha was never as happy to be with him as he thought. It hurt to think about it. He wanted to believe they were meant for each other, that their love was strong enough to last a lifetime. But maybe he was just lying to himself. Tatsu? Hey, what's wrong? The gentle voice snapped him back into reality, the mist suddenly obstructing his vision, hinting on why Konoha sounded so worried now. Tatsu. Warm hands cupped his cheeks, and soon Konoha knelt down in front of him, slightly blurred but there, apparently worried about him. How ironic. It's fine. I don't think fine looks like this. Definitely not in your case. What's wrong? Did something happen? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know what got into me. It was embarrassing to let his guard down like this. Showing weakness never led to anything good, on court and in his relationships. Hence why he only had Konoha and a few of his teammates right now. Yet, despite having to look absolutely awful right now, Konoha stayed kneeling down in front of him, his hands not leaving his cheeks for even a second. Well, if you need to let it out, I'll listen. Or you can cry on my shoulder, that's fine with me too. Just don't bottle it again, please. Right. He did bottle things up last time, didn't he? You might not like it. What? You getting emotional? Come on, who do you have me for? He got up from the floor and plopped down next to Washio on the couch, carefully leading his head to rest on his shoulder. I just want you to be alright. You've been there for me hundreds of times, so now it's my turn. You don't have to return it out of obligation. Hey, this is a relationship, remember? Not an obligation. He ran his fingers through Washio's hair, gently ruffling it to ruin the styling. I know it's been difficult before, but we are still good now. Going strong on the 7th anniversary. He sounded so proud of the fact, so happy, and Washio's heart swelled. Maybe it wasn't as hopeless as he feared. Thank you. Anytime. Do you want to talk about it? Half-heartedly, Washio shook his head and then flicked Konoha's forehead, earning only a tiny flinch and an offended gasp. Okay, we don't have to talk. His voice softened. But I'm here if you need, and I'll listen. I know. I love you. Love you too. Emotional or not. Considering how much Taichi had gone through in the past, Hayato refused to do anything related to this challenge. Even it pretended it could send Taichi down a fright spiral, and knowing his luck, he might accidentally hit his beloved for real, causing even worse harm. No, for nothing in the world was he going to risk it. Not when Taichi's heart was still so fragile. Next time one of those two comes up with any challenge, I'm blocking them. This isn't worth the nerves. Besides, they had a nice day planned for today. A full-blown day-long date with everything they loved. Why would he ruin it for them? Taichi, sweetheart, come on or we'll be late for the reservation. Clanking and muffled yelp were his only answer, urging him to go check on his husband. Be it anyone else, he wouldn't bother, but clanking could mean injury, and injuries were bad news in Taichi's case. Tai, everything okay? Yeah, it's fine. Not entirely convinced, Hayato peeked into the bathroom, finding Taichi collecting scattered cotton pads from the floor. However, the thing that caught Hayato's attention was the broken concealer spilled among them. He was aware Taichi used makeup sometimes to correct things he didn't like on his face, but it still broke his heart every time. It meant his husband was spiraling again, trying to hide things that weren't flaws at all. Without a word, he carefully knelt down to help clean everything up. The way Taichi avoided his gaze when he picked up the small tube, speaking volumes. What is it, love? Sighing, Taichi glanced into the mirror before motioning to the slight redness on his cheekbones, where his freckles usually were. I just thought it might be better to brush over it, since we are going to go in public. The freckles or the redness? Both. Biting hard on his lip to stop himself from speaking too soon, Hayato caressed his cheek, making sure he brushed over the freckles extra gently. Is it what you really want? Or is it because of pressure? He looked away, obviously leading some mental fight. Hayato let him think, but didn't take his hand away and just silently prayed for a good outcome. He would be caught dead if he shamed Taichi for trying to be comfortable in his own skin. Even if he wanted to hide what Hayato thought was perfect because of some societal pressure, as long as he felt good, he would support him. However, I don't want people to look at me because of it. I want to enjoy what we'll do without looking out for people staring. Okay. Did it break too bad? I don't think so. I can still use it. Hayato gave him a soft smile then, standing on his tiptoes to kiss his cheek. Then once more before moving to his lips too, relishing the little giggle Taichi let out. There we go, much better. He then entwined their fingers together, leaving one more kiss on the back of Taichi's hand for good measure. Just remember you are perfect, okay? Makeup or not. He rejoiced when Taichi blushed. I'll remember that. Give me a few more minutes? Sure. He turned to leave before he realized he was still holding the concealer tube. Oh, right, sorry. Catch? He tossed it perhaps a little too forcefully for the small space, covering a little when the tube smacked Taichi right in the nose. Taichi flinched at the impact, scrambling to catch the tube before it fell again, letting out a strange chuckle. It was close. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw it like that. Are you hurt? No, it's fine. It wasn't that strong. He gave him a genuine smile, the one of a kind that always made Hayato weak in his knees, and Hayato sighed in relief. Okay, that's good. I'll wait in the living room, okay? He settled on the couch for a while, glad that everything seemed to work out well. And he got rid of the challenge in the end too, even if a bit unintentionally. Now they only had the good things ahead of them. The most awful thing about this already horrible challenge was that he wasn't lying when he said he knew the answer already. He shouldn't be able to tell. He should wonder, maybe be a bit curious if his fiancée would flinch or not. And yet, he knew Kenji would cover the moment he would raise his hand in this direction, trembling and terrified of the hit actually landing. It broke his heart when it happened the last time, when he realized what was going on. That his own fiancée, someone he spent years with and who he loved more than anything, was scared of him. And that it was his fault for not keeping his emotions in check. There might be something more too, though. But either way, it's my fault. He sighed deeply before he returned to browsing the aisle with animal plushies, trying to find one or three that might make Kenji happy. Sure, it wasn't going to erase the past, but it could be a step in the right direction. One of many. In the end, he decided for a sea turtle one and a seal one with big eyes, hoping they were cute enough to make Kenji cool. He missed that so much, along with so many other gestures and expressions that somehow disappeared from Kenji's behavior. One step at a time. He rushed home with the plushies in a bag, hoping he was doing the right thing and not just adding more pain. The living room was empty, just like the kitchen, but he knew where to go. Sure enough, he found Kenji lounging on one of their sunbeds, his eyes closed and face peaceful in a way Aone hadn't seen for ages. He hesitated for a moment before he gently caressed Kenji's hair, earning a sound an awakened cat wouldn't be ashamed of. Don't stay in the sun for too long. We work outside, remember? I'm on the sun half of the time anyway. He glanced up at Aone, a curious look in his eyes. Where did you go? Shop. Had to get something. He handed Kenji the bag, waiting, hoping, and then Kenji's eyes widened, soft awe leaving his mouth. These are adorable. When did you get them? Are they... For you. Taking note of the surprise flashing across Kenji's face, presumably because he assumed the plushies were for their potential child, Aone squatted down next to him and took his hand in his. I withdrew the adoption form. Kenji froze. What? But why? You wanted a family more than anything else. Why? Not true. He brought Kenji's hand to his lips, leaving a kiss on his fingers. The decision wasn't an easy one, but the more he thought about it, the more he watched Kenji wither in their relationship. He came to a conclusion that it was necessary. In the end, given how the whole process was going, he had nothing to lose by taking a break. However, he had a lot to lose if he continued on. I want to be with you more than anything. But, Nobu, that's... If it's because of me... No, because of us. He cradled Kenji's face, collecting his thoughts to explain himself the best way possible. I don't want you to be scared of me. I made you scared and it's not right. So I need to make it better. We have enough time. Kenji watched him for a moment, looking confused and worried, but under all that, Aone saw a sliver of relief, and he couldn't blame him. He gave him a while to think, caressing small circles into his skin until Kenji sighed and sat up. Are you sure it's the right way? Yes, I've thought about it a lot. I don't want to lose you to a wish. Eyes glossing over, Kenji nodded then, biting hard on his lip before he went for a careful hug. Okay, then let's take it slow. I'm sorry. You have nothing to be sorry for. He pulled him closer, relieved when Kenji melted in his arms, his grip tightening as well. He just hoped their love could be saved. Despite having good intentions, Iwaizumi had to admit this was probably the last challenge he would be initiating, at least in the next couple of months. The others would probably refuse to participate anyway, but they also deserved a break. If someone else wanted to buy the bullet, at the very least it wouldn't add to his bad karma. And he didn't want to risk finding angry messages on his phone. One last time. Let's just try it and see. He knew Oikawa was a bit jumpier since their argument, but it seemed like he was close to being his old self after they talked everything through again. This was the last test, one last step to see if his words had the desired impact. Could he go about it differently? Sure, but both of them were always rather cynical about this. Although, for him it might be a reflex after all those years. He hadn't really thought about that before. After getting ball thrown at him so often in the past, Oikawa might have already developed a sixth sense for avoiding hits. However, Iwaizumi wanted to believe that he would recognize the difference between a regular dodge and one from fear. After all those years they've spent together... It's fine. It's going to be fine. He took 2 popsicles out of the freezer and headed outside, finding Oikawa just the way he left him about half an hour ago, sprawled on a sunbed and his skin gleaming with sweat and sunscreen. He called it catching bronze in peace. Iwaizumi called it a waste of time. But who was he to ruin his fiancée's leisure time? Someone who came up with a hitting challenge, that's who. Don't fall asleep or you'll be burned to a crisp. Oikawa's only reaction was a raised eyebrow under her sunglasses, and Iwaizumi rolled his eyes. Stubborn brat. Here, take it before it melts. That finally got some proper reaction. Oikawa beamed and sat up, snatching the popsicle from him as if he was holding it hostage. Some things just never changed, but to be honest, Iwaizumi wouldn't want them to. It was moments like this that made it worthwhile. Shouldn't you eat yours too then? Don't talk with your mouth full. You can't stop me. Sensing an opportunity, Iwaizumi left his fist loosely balled and struck his arm forward. But instead of stopping before impact, he only slowed it down, punching Oikawa's forehead much more gently than his starting force would suggest. Oikawa flinched, a look of hurt and betrayal on his face as he pulled away to rub his assaulted forehead. Awa! So mean, Hajime. What was that for? You don't listen. Oikawa gave him a scorching side-eye and ostentatiously ignored him while he munched on the popsicle, and Iwaizumi had to chuckle. Truly, some things didn't change no matter what. You are still so mean to me. I'm here peacefully enjoying a free day and you have to ruin it for me. In the most childish fashion, he stuck his tongue out to perhaps underline his words, but the only thing Iwaizumi managed to focus on was the way the ice cream colored Oikawa's tongue blue. Endearing, truly, worth even surviving the awful heatwave. And so he just plopped down on the sunbed as well, silently enjoying his ice cream until Oikawa nudged his side with a huff. Wanna go for a swim? Swim? Where? We don't have a pool. The ocean's right there. Yeah, an hour by car. I can aim the garden hose at you if you want. He said it as a joke, yet surprisingly, Oikawa seemed to think about it for a while. Do we have one of those portable sprinkles? I think so. Perfect, that's enough. What are you, 5? Despite his words, he was already back on his feet and headed to the shed to look for the sprinkler, a smile curling his lips when he heard a gleeful giggle from behind his back. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed. So in the end, the second part didn't turn out as angsty as I thought it would, but hey, why not? It was kinda sweet, and we need something sweet from time to time. However, considering I gave you free reign in choosing the next 3 one-shots, and all of you suggested angst, you know what's coming. And it's not my fault this time, it's your fault. Do some self-reflection, okay? If you have any requests or ideas, the request form is linked in the video description. See you next time.